Welcome to part one of a very short video series on rapidly creating video game assets, primarily for use with the Unreal 4 engine, but you can quite happily use these in Unity or Lumberyard or your whichever engine you'd like to. We're going to be creating 3D models very rapidly from 2D images using the SVG vector art insertion tool in Maya 2017. So this is a free vector art program called Inkscape I've got open in front of me here, in order to create SVG vector art files in Inkscape, find yourself a suitable template. This is a cold steel dagger picture I found from online. You can rotate it by using the Select and Transform Objects tool. When you click on it, it'll switch between moving and rotation. Hold down Control to rotate in increments. Click on it again to switch to the transformation tool movement, and again holding Control to scale it linearly rather than at will. Once I've got that upright and sort of in the middle of the workspace here, I'll switch over to this tool, Draw Bezier Curves and Straight Lines. This will be the tool we're using predominantly in order to move around in Inkscape. Middle mouse button to pan and hold down Control and scroll wheel to zoom in and out. What we want to do here is to create a relatively simple outline of this object, and you just click, and as you draw it will leave a series of lines behind you. Keep going until you've completely traced the outline of the object. This can be in as much detail or as little detail as you'd like, although since these are supposed to be simple, rapidly created assets, I would recommend that you just stick to the bare minimum amount of detail you can get away with to create the object that you want. These can obviously always be tweaked in your 3D modeling programs later, but for right now let's just get this thing traced out. Right, nearly done. What we'll do then, once we've finished this tracing, you'll see there's a box where I first clicked in order to complete this outline. Click in that box, and there we go. Our dagger has been traced around. If I go back to this Edit Paths by Nodes tool here at the side, you'll see all of the little nodes that we've placed appear. And these could actually be moved and dragged and manipulated, but for right now let's just unify them and get on with this. So select everything, go up to the top, click Path and Union, then reselect your objects and save this. So I'm going to save as, and I'm going to call this dagger and save it as a plain SVG file. If you save it as an Inkscape SVG file, Maya will not be able to read it. So once you've saved that, we can now switch over to Maya and start working on this. Right, Maya 2017 has this really nifty new feature here, the SVG button up on your polygon bar. If you click this, it will create a warning sign letting you know that, well, I've created an SVG object, but it has no SVG data on it. So head over to your attribute editor on the side here, and there should be a tab for SVG1, which will be this new object that we've created. Click under its attributes, click to import, and navigate to your dagger.svg file. You'll get a nice preview of it, will come up on the screen. Don't worry about the images and cropping. All we're after is those points that we drew. And when you press OK, you'll see there straight away you have a 3D model that, if you really wanted to, you could now simply generate automatic UVs for this, save it and export it, and dump it straight into your game engine for use as a prop or other object.